This is a very serious podcast. This is a very serious video. Just kidding. Hey guys, it's Kamurai. Guess what's up today? Uh, I have a couple things in the air. I'm late doing this one. I'm supposed to do on Tuesdays now. It's Thursday, but that's okay. We're going to try to get through it. It's going to be a little bit longer, too, because I'm a couple days late. And a lot of stuff comes out on Tuesday, Wednesday, which is part of the part of doing it on Tuesday, so I can avoid all that. As a wonderful bonus, the weather outside is just lovely, so you may hear some residual noise. The power may even go out, but that won't stop me from talking to this camera. And I'm half expecting my grandma to call me back in the middle of this, so we'll play it by ear. Let's see, where to start. Rooster Teeth, their game show On the Spot has come to an official end. I thought it was the official the first time around, but for whatever reason, they came back with the second season. My only complaint about the entire show is that Mr. Reisinger, John himself, doesn't apparently command enough respect with the guests, because the guests are people who are assholes to each other and him all day long anyways, in a friendly, playful sort of way, but it makes it look bad from outside the show. Now, if you're a Rooster Teeth community member, then you know that what's up, but not everyone looking at it does. So people at full screen and people trying to pitch this to outside of Rooster Teeth are not going to be able to market it because fucking people are fucking it up, and not taking it seriously as a production, because there's a proper way to deliver humor. Like, yes, be funny on the show, but don't ruin the show. Don't disrespect John in the middle of the games and everything. I mean, like, it's funny, yes, but like, especially sponsor ads. Oh my god. Like, I totally think that's funny. Like, make us pretend to drink something on the camera, throw like a cute dog in there, but like when you actively like block his face, no, I think that's probably a little bit too far. But thank you, sponsors, for sponsoring Mr. Resinger's On the Spot. I do think they need to bring something back, and like having it be an improv show is okay, but I don't think any of the street guys are necessarily great improvists. I would actually like to see a thing where like they draw, where they're essentially playing party games like Pictionary and Cranium and things like that. So it's like, use this putty, make me a dog, and then like they could get awarded based on that. Like, think challenges like that would actually make the show really interesting. Doing like a Celebrity Jeopardy with funny titles or something, that would actually be pretty funny, or that'd be entertaining. I think we just need something a little bit more fresh. I don't think Full Screen's appreciative of these budding projects. We saw Screenplay, like a horrible name, get canned as well. But let's move on. I'm trying to remember what the hell happened on Community. I just watched it the other day because it comes out on Tuesdays. Safety features. I do remember Jeff tricking, can't remember her name, the accountant lady into playing the steel drums and being very upset that they did not realize that's not how you play steel drums, or what steel drums are, because you couldn't hear them either. Frankie, that's her name. But the episode was pretty taken over by Britta and the return of not Subway, but Rick, who was a guerrilla sales marketer for Honda. Like, I know these things exist, but fuck me, like, really? Sometimes people just like shit. Like, he could have just been a guy like that. I don't know. Like, they made this whole thing and about like the dean's super susceptible, and I don't know, like technically what he did wasn't illegal, so I don't know what could have possibly happened to him other than him being banned from campus because he pissed off the dean, or the activities board. Oh yeah, and then Jeff was trying to make friends with Roland or whatever his name is, and I don't know. And then his ex's band showed up. I don't know. Annie and Abed really I felt like they took a back seat. I like seeing Jillian Michaels up there. Jillian Jacobs? Shit, I cannot remember anybody's fucking name. The lady who plays Britta, I like seeing her all over the place, but it just wasn't the best storyline. I wish she'd gotten a better storyline. The last Odd Couple, I don't think it was on the 16th. So okay, so I haven't talked about this. The last week's Odd Couple was the Secret Agent Man, where Felix tried to get Oscar to go on television, where apparently Oscar stinks. He's a radio guy, not necessarily because he's ugly. You leave him alone too. I pulled him off you last week. Quit making me yell at you on the podcast. Oh, shit. What was I gonna say? So yeah, so that's sort of because he's ugly, just because he has this weird confidence issue and he just doesn't know well on camera, which is fine. And he apparently likes to do a show without his pants, which is fine. But they made a whole to-do over this whole show about tricking Oscar into thinking that he can actually do it, even though he can't, and how much an agent lies to talent, and etc., etc., etc. So, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It was okay episode. There's definitely will have been better and will be better to come. You know, I probably should have popped these out before Big Bang. I'll be honest. I don't know if I talked about that one or not. It's weird when off schedule with these. I know I rewatched it. Even like I watched it last Thursday or Friday or Saturday, whenever I got to it, and I realized I didn't know if I watched it or not, so I watched it again at some point, or I had it on at least. And it's them exploring their group dynamic because Howard and Sheldon are apparently alphas. I think they're really betas without an alpha. And then Leonard and Raj are the beta / omegas or whatever, meaning that like they kind of go along and do support for whatever the other guys are saying, and or they're ladies, because Penny takes the alpha role with Leonard a lot. So like the guys really like they were trying to be making a message to fucking for NASA, for alien life. It's really kind of like a weird thing. Like I found the concept that they were using to deliver the message more interesting than the story surrounding it. The more interesting part was Penny when she actually went to the audition. She took the audition, but like she is recommitted herself to pharmaceutical sales, and having success over her dream as a actress. Like I feel like that's going to be a pivotal story plot coming up, but we only have a few episodes left. I don't know what we're doing here at this point. Okay, this should sell itself. Sophie took the girls' bridesmaid shopping for their dresses. And it came into this whole thing about like how they didn't think she has any taste, and she got upset because she thought that might be it, and they lied to her so that everyone could be happy, etc., etc. So it's this weird countermeasure of like, not the truth will set you free, but telling people enough of the truth so that they're happy makes everyone's lives better. I don't know. But as we're approaching Sophie's wedding, I really think we're going to hit a couple more interesting story bumps here. And the show's pretty funny no matter what they have them doing. So, yeah. Mom is not as funny these days. I know they all came to the house to support her, have meetings there, as she's trying to kick recovery. Because if the episode before, Christy left her in jail to think things over. So with Bonnie so fresh out of recovery, we're gonna see some things happening here soon, I'm sure. This was the drama that the show needed, especially with the Christie's oldest daughter being or going away with her fiance, her son living with his dad most of the time, and I want to see more Christy struggle with school, but that seems like it's just going to turn into Christella. But that's fine, because I'm glad somebody kind of has it together. Pig, what do you have? What is that? Give me just a second. No! Bad kitties. Oh, shit. All right, for anyone keeping track at home, your cats will chew through wires if you leave them exposed. Apparently, if they're the right things. And this is a laptop wire. It was in the desktop. I put my laptop in, and apparently they're assholes. So let's move on. Yeah, so Mom's not as funny as it should be right now. Moving on to Netflix real quick. Two quick movies, because I don't know if I mentioned this one or not. Take Care and Life Partners. I think I mentioned Take Care, because I want to say I was in the middle of Life Partners last time. Real quick, just super fast recap. Take Care. Yep, that was the one where she makes her ex come take care of her, and that's funny. Life Partners was Jillian Jacobs. What's her name? Jillian Jacobs, okay. And Leighton Meister. And Adam Brody. Yeah, okay. If you look up Adam Brody, you'll recognize him. I guarantee. Like, you may not remember Jillian Jacobs' name all the time either, but you'll probably recognize her if you've seen her before. And Leighton Meister, like, it's probably hit or miss. But Leighton plays a lesbian who's best friends with Jillian Jacobs, who is dating / engaged / married to, I can't remember what stages of what happened in the movie, to Adam Brody. And so it's this weird contrast between Leighton's character being this immature, head in the clouds lesbian, which has nothing to do with each other, and then Jillian's character getting her life together and finding somebody and settling down in like the traditional sense. So like I feel like there's this weird slap at the gays there, but like I really don't see that having anything to do with the other thing. So maybe I missed the message, but it was pretty entertaining throughout because fun relationship dynamics. That's just my thing. So a good movie. I wouldn't guarantee it, but it's definitely interesting. It's actually a very similar. No, it's not similar enough to One Big Happy. But a TV show I beg you to check out, even if you don't dig every episode, is The Crazy Ones. This apparently was the last show that Robin Williams was doing before he died. And I want to say that he died in the middle of season 1, but this is an awful lot of episodes. This is 22 episodes, so he probably didn't die in the middle. He might have died towards the end. But I don't think they finished it, is my point. 2013, so no, they probably did. But as far as I'm aware, this is the last show that he worked on, and maybe I'm wrong. I'd love to be wrong. I would love to find another show that he did past this. But it's pretty funny. Sarah Michelle Gellar, who I don't consider to be very funny, is in this, and you can take that sentence however you want. But he plays her daughter, and they play guys or people in an advertising company. So it's kind of like House of Lies, but more family friendly, slightly. Speaking of which, I need to catch up on that show. It's been a while. But definitely want to check out. All right, so going back 8 days ago on Hulu, Weird Loners. That was the one where Karen's talking to Stosh, and Stosh ends up stealing therapy because there's this big reveal about who Stosh is and how much he's been taking from them and what a douchebag he really is. Even Eric finds out. So, like, we're slow. They jumped in and they did a crash introduction of the characters at the beginning that I thought was really good. It was really going to take hold. Except, like, I didn't see. It's hard to see the characters that they are because they're not the outcast characters that, like, I thought they were going to be. It's really like, except for Eric, who is the weird loner, and they even mentioned that in one of the episodes. Like, the other three are, like, all power bodies, and, like, it's just, like, their weird things. Like, Karen's always self-destructive because she likes the thing that's not going to last because it tastes better, essentially. Stosh is just this pathological liar who has similar tendencies. So, like, I think the whole joke there is that they're going to end up together to try to fix each other or something. And then Zara's hot with, like, all these idiosyncrasies and a little bit of anxiety, but, like, she has more in common with Stosh than Karen, whereas she takes control and pushes things away. Like Stosh does, where Stosh and Karen shared the self-destructiveness of it. Because Stosh will actually push away a good thing, where Zara does that too. Oh god. Okay, so they're enough of a mess to entertain me. So that's fun. But so that was just a nice character building episode, and hopefully, when I come back around, I'll be able to say something interesting. Oh yeah, fresh off the boat. Dad has to teach the basketball team. Jessica has to take over stage production stuff because the school's insisting they get involved in extracurriculars, which is a horrible idea to force people to do these things. And hilarious hijinks in the course of Sue because they're not what anybody wants them to be at it, but they have merit in the end. The Flash. The lady who can talk to mechanical killer bees was a real interesting twist. I was hoping they were going somewhere else with it, but that's what it turned out to be. And then they're using the Atom more. So until he gets his own show, I'm looking forward to him keep reoccurring with that character. Even if it shows up in the Flash instead of the Arrow, which is actually going to make it interesting to see those three shows all crossing over at different points because I don't know. I get that, like, Starling City is only a flash away from Barry's town, but I don't know. The show loses me half the time. I've got more exciting things to say about the next episode. iZombie: Fight of the Living Dead. Oh yeah. Okay, so Liv eats the brains of her old sorority sister, and it starts investigating her murder. It's super personal. It's she dies in like a parachuting accident. Drama, right? So she's an expert parachutist that doesn't pull or shoot, essentially. So, like, they find some toxicology errors. And in the investigation, which is the real story here, because let's face it, the girl's already dead. You can't do a whole lot and put the guy away. The interesting part is that she finds another zombie, or someone who claims to be a zombie, because we haven't really seen any proof of that yet. And then there's more investigations going into Adam Monroe's character. I'm going to call him that no matter what. You can't stop me. To see Clive, what he's doing with the organization. Undateable. This was the cutesy wootsy stray dog episode. So they're all trying to teach Candace how to lie so that she can lie to get the dog. And it turns out that like everybody's so enamored with her innocence that they do it for her. Which is, I mean, it's a really sweet character building episode, but when I do these nice character building episodes, I don't have a lot to say about it because it's all like teeny tiny jokes in the moment and nothing that really is a momentous event other than, hey, there's a dog. The other thing was pushing Justin into, it's really, they're playing like an Odd Couple thing here with Danny and Justin too. Which is fine. I'm not saying you can't have more than one of those running at the same time, but they're pushing Justin into like manning up. It would seem like where he doesn't get pushed around as much. So that's what was really happening with Justin this episode. One big happy. They had some kind of weird moment or something where they're like they were thinking that they couldn't live the same life because they were so interested in different things like. Oh God, Luke and Elizabeth Cuthbert's character, I can't remember. Lizzie. They've been doing the same stuff forever, and prudence is kind of a new thing in Luke's life. So Luke feels compelled to go do those things, even if he doesn't like it. So they put on squirrel suits and they were gonna go like air gliding, and they went to. And he got hurt in the fucking tunnel. I don't even know it's possible. Honestly, that's stuff's supposed to be padded. So they have a whole thing where they've got to come to terms with what kind of life are they actually going to lead. Are they going to get bored of each other? What's going to happen? Especially, I mean, like it wasn't complicated enough with the three of them involved. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So we get to hear the Cavalry story. And this is, oh God, what is it? I feel like I keep using this word, character building, but we see May take a stance and come to terms in some middle ground between Gonzalez and Coulson to try to find the truth and do what's right, whether it's because of her loyalty to S.H.I.E.L.D. or whatnot. Okay, so last week's on the Arrow, that was the energy absorber. It was essentially the DC version of Havoc, who I actually thought was kind of compelling. And if I'm not wrong, it's the same guy who plays Gordon on Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I could be wrong. It's just how I remember him. It's felt like the same guy. Because that was the whole thing where we had the Atom helping out. So like they even do a thing where like Oliver was going to remote control the suit using like a video game controller or something. And Roy Palmer was just kind of in it at the time. So Roy has a long ways to go to becoming the Atom properly. And all these baby superheroes are going to bother me. Like, I just want to go to the part where like they're established superheroes. Like, can we just go to that? Okay, Supernatural, last week, Book of the Damned, they broke the voice, whatever you want to call him, out of heaven prison. They took his grace, they tortured him, they managed to get to a library and found Castiel's grace. But I'm pissed because they didn't kill him. I'll spoil that right now. And you knew that was going to happen because he has to be around to come up and crop things up later because he's a friggin' evil angel. And, like, honestly, unless he lets Lucifer and Michael back out, I don't know what the hell else he's going to do that's going to be on par with everything else. Because they're already, like, working deals with Rowena and Crowley to try to, like, get the mark off Dean. What craziness. Over on the middle, yep, Axel turns 21. Mike's trying to relate to him as a man over beer or whatever, and Axel's being a douchebag because that's what he does. Sue's trying to like balance loyalty over like food court jobs, which we all know doesn't fucking matter, but it's Sue, so she's got to do the thing, which makes her ridiculous and supposedly is funny. I didn't really find it that amusing. I wish she would just realize she's just got to make some cash before she goes to college or whatever she's actually doing. I can't remember what happened with that. I know she got in somewhere, but I don't know what's happening with that. I want to say the episode of Christella was she passed the bar and like Josh didn't, so they're trying to deal with all that, and then whether or not Christella's going to move out or stay and help out, or move out and help out, or whatever. And then Josh was going to work as Christella's assistant or something until he could pass the bar, and I don't know. Like, the show's pretty entertaining. I'm not going to tell you not to watch it, but sometimes the overall story gets a little bit muddled because you're like, what, how far are we to her getting to the bar? And now we're past the bar, and she's a lawyer, so I don't know what they're going to do with the show because that seemed to be the whole theme of her working her way up. Now that she's up, I don't know what they're going to do with it. It's not like they're going to bring her back down. Last Man Standing was kind of fucked up. Ryan's dad came down telling Ryan that he was dying so that they could get close, and because Ryan was only open to it as long as he thought he didn't have another chance. And then it turns out that he's a lying dick, and they reveal that, and he tries to stick out and be there for Ryan after he gets hurt, and it's very touching. We didn't touch on anything with Eve dating anymore. I know Mandy was there, but I don't remember anything. I think Chris is running the restaurant and things are going well. I really think this was a Ryan centric episode, which I hope they used up that card because he's not a very good character in my opinion. Grim, Mishi Peshu. Oh yeah, this was interesting because this doesn't really feel like Vesend. It feels like Vesend's spirit, maybe. And then even if it was that, it's not Vesend because this is a Native American thing, not a German having come to America thing. But it was essentially like some Native American kid's dad got killed by some prejudiced assholes. And he went on a revenge killing using the power of the spirit totem. Yay. It's really kind of interesting to see them deal with things that aren't Vesson on occasion, which makes me feel better, A, because we're not adding more Vesson to the Portland community, and B, it puts them really out of their element because they're like, what is this? Is it in the books? I can't find it. Oh, what are we going to do? And they have to actually figure shit out, which is nice. But they had a resource. Family Guy. Oh yeah. Brian's an alcoholic, so his liver's failing. Doctor gives Peter pills. Pills have to go in the dog's butt. Dog doesn't want him in his butt. He bites Peter. He goes to a bathing school. Comes back submissive. Even when Peter tries to sneak up on him while he's asleep and put the pill in his butt, he fingers his butt. That's right. Brian bites him again, and they become friends. I don't understand the point of this show sometimes. I really don't. Like, there were some funny bits in between all that, but what the fuck? Last Man on Earth. This is interesting because I don't know where the hell they're going with it. I knew more people would show up. It's the theme. It's like, once you think everything's settled, we'll have someone else show up and ruin everything for you. Phil did the one smart thing that I thought he could have done for his selfish, nasty ways. Because now he's divorced from Carol. They have a little community. It was 2 guys to 4 women. The ladies, once they figured out that it was the 3 weeks married after the end of the world, they kind of forgave Phil rather heartily. But His Alive in Tucson things. Fucking hell. He went up there, moved to Tampa, which is actually a neat idea. So it starts moving a community that way. So it still does the good of directing people to the same general spot so they can start a civilization, but at the same time preserving his advantages. No offense to the actor or Phil as a character, or and shit. Look at me. There's not a lot of opportunities he's probably had in his life to do what they're doing, and you see it with the good guy Todd reacts to when this new Phil Miller shows up. He's really close to being killed in his sleep. That's what I'm saying. And I don't think Phil could ever kill Todd because Todd was just some fat schlub in his eyes. Who had it just as bad off as him, that had his luck turn good when the world ended. So I don't know. Like, I think I would probably, I don't know. Like, part of me is like, part is that like I had pussy out, but like I think it would just recognize like it's good to have him in. Like, I would be learning stuff. I would be doing things actively anyways, but use him as a resource if he needs to. Just keep him sated. That's great. The world's going to be lonely again. Whatever. Especially if I hadn't had relations with him, then whatever. So I could kind of see like the little thing when Phil's kind of being a bastard about Carol going over there. It's the one woman out of the 4 that he's actually been with, so I can sympathize a little bit, but no, like, you didn't want to be married to the crazy lady. You're fine. Just let her go. In fact, that's the best case scenario for him if other Phil hooks up with Carol and then doesn't want anything to do with the other ladies. So, once upon a time, we got backstory on Cruella de Vil, which I can't say really garners us sympathy, given the name of the title or the title of the episode. But honestly, like, her story makes a little bit more sense. I kind of wishing her mother killed her. And the author wasn't such a dumbass. Like, he could write things into existence, but that means that, like, the role of the author, I don't know how he transfers realms. One, go away. I don't know how he transfers realms. He didn't make the characters. He didn't make the stories. He was just adding to and editing them. So it's like he picked up after the last guy who died. Like, it's when George R.R. Martin dies, somebody's going to have to finish the fucking series. Just a fact. We'll get back to that in a minute, though. Back to Fresh Off the Boat. Mom is, like, she looks cute in these Chinese outfits. I'm not saying she doesn't. For whatever reason, I think I blame Rana One Half and Shampoo. And even though she's an Amazon, she wears like a traditional Chinese garb or woman garb. It's actually really cute. And I've always thought it's cute ever since then. I don't know if that was just because that's the first time I've seen it, and I always would have thought it was cute, but whatever. But they kind of go overload on like what it is to be Chinese and remembering your roots, despite the advantages you might be garnering as an American. And they related to being Chinese or white, but it's really being Chinese and having that mandatory work ethic so you don't starve in the old country, and bringing that here and working just as hard to become successful. And then once you are successful and integrated into society and being freaking lazy like the rest of the Americans, compared to the Chinese at least, because we are some fat lazy fuckers over here, I'll be honest. Back on the Flash, who is Harrison Wells? Like, they've started coordinating investigations against Harrison Wells. The only person on board is Daniel Panabaker's character, which, of course, is probably the most troublesome because not only is she friggin' super smart, but she trusts in Wells enough that she actually would brave going over there and telling him everything, That's not a spoiler. You knew that was coming, and you knew that from the first 2 minutes of the episode when she's like walking out of the pizza party they're trying to have to try to get everybody there and talking. So there's a split in the party. Cisco and the captain, Joe, that's right, go to Starling City to investigate Harrison Wells's accident, where we know that he had his demise and the shifter replaced him, or the time traveler, let's say that, and then back in not Starling City, wherever they're from, I can't remember. There was an actual shifter he could touch and copy. What bothers me is that he could copy clothes and that he could copy. They made it look like he could copy and materialize weapons, which is bullshit. But even for science fiction nonsense, it's like no, you can't do that. It breaks my suspension of disbelief. It's no good. But he was going around committing crimes on camera so that it would look like there was undeniable proof. When in fact he was a shifter, like he even transformed into a little girl to escape his cuffs. But that's another one in the vault for them, so that's good on the city that I can't remember. I'm really upset about that now. Okay, so back around to Weird Learners. I have no idea why they did this. I don't know if this is really a thing in New York still. I don't know if there's a giant chessboard in Central Park that they leave there and expect people not to touch. But apparently Eric has been a knight on a living chessboard for 10 years or something, and he has a chance for advancement because his buddy wants to go out with Karen, and so he actually makes it happen. That happens, and then Karen goes insane because she's insane about why the guy doesn't actually like her, and it turns out, as I predicted, that he was just using her to make the waitress lady jealous, which could have been helpful to Karen if she knew that up front, because she kind of took a weird backslide with a guy that she didn't like at all, and then she was like, I'm not valuable to him. I must have him. He must love me like everyone else. I don't know. Whereas Stosh actually was productive in this episode, I will say. So that was a nice change of pace, that one of them started being productive. But it was manipulating Zara into doing art for a hotel or something and then taking a commission from it. So, yeah, that was neat to see. But and I'm looking forward to these different interactions with them. But I was really hyped about the show, and I'm getting less and less hyped as I come to the reality of what it is, which is not a bad show, but it's not the show that I thought it was going to be. Whereas it seems like One Big Happy and Undateable most of the time is. One Big Happy seems to be my favorite now. And it's not just, and I'll use this as a silly example. Like on Undateable, Candace, the little waitress girl, like historically maybe more of my type. Really not, but maybe like just the Soma type. Whereas like I'm actually very intrigued that Leslie comes off so attractive, especially when I didn't find her attractable in Rules of Engagement. I have no idea why. Maybe she just was better older. I don't know. But the same thing with Simone Birch on One Big Happy, where like Eliza Cuthbert was the thing back when she was the girl next door. Like I'm not digging her as much now, or maybe it's the character bleeding out of it. But Simon Birch is fabulous character and actress. Okay, so back to storylines and such. One Big Happy, Tale of Two Hubbies. So it turns out English bitch was married to an English bloke. It makes me sad that someone could be dumb enough not to finalize the divorce papers. You can't just sign them and leave them with somebody. And then I don't know why his loser ass, what he was doing the entire time, one, and then two, just not follow up on that at all. And actually hang on to hopes that like they'd get together and then like come all the way to America and fall for someone else in the first day or whatever because she said some words that she obviously didn't mean. But they left that one on a bad note, so I'm hoping we can come up next episode because like the drama was funny up until now because Lizzie and Prudence being stuck together while Luke's off trying to get his head straight around everything and convince himself that Prudence didn't just marry him to get herself out of a bad situation. That's no good. Like we need to bring it up. Undateable, I don't know why it's called A Priest Walks into a Bar when it's an interview person for a column. Because Danny's been doing stuff on social media, so his friends, especially his sister, are trying to garner that into like an actual job so that he's not throwing his life away. Whether or not he's set on money is not the case here. It's what he's doing with his time and brain. So they trick him into having an interview at the bar, which sounds ridiculous the more I think about it. But it really came down to doing the odd couple thing with them again, whereas Justin had to provide tough love to Danny to get him to be productive, whereas Danny had to work on himself and then convince Justin. Oh, there was a thing here with Justin. Convince Justin to be just generally stronger about things as they've been doing. But Leslie put him out in the sleeper twice this episode, which was nice. And sure enough, there's a phone call. Oh, stand by. Hello? Hi, can I call you right back? All right, thank you. Bye. So I knew that was going to happen. We are oddly close to being done, so let me just zip through this. iZombie, oh God, this was horrible. Had to drink brains of some hacker that got killed by swollenness, so obviously allergies. But they were trying to do cyber detecting and stuff. So it's really weird to watch someone who was barely at ME try to do detective work with this and just kind of like flounce all the rules. While the whole time dealing with the zombie thing, she had her first zombie date. I don't know. It's a thing. I don't know if I'm going to continue with that show or not at this point. I'm really approaching the fence, like fresh off the boat. Marvel's Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. With Deathlock involved, it's very interesting right now. S.H.I.E.L.D. versus Hydra versus Ward is all very interesting. The problem is that they took a couple gambits here, and then their gambits took a gambit, and so now everyone's like trading pieces. So we've got a couple episodes to trade again and then resolve, and then set up for the end of the season. Because I'm pretty sure that's happening soon. Castle got a bunch of people killed by looking into his past of his missing 2 months. That's pretty much what happens. I like Castle, I really do, and I think Nathan Fillion's a jewel of the acting scene, etc., etc. But this was kind of a weak episode. We didn't really get to know what happened. We got enough clues to know some of the stuff that might have happened, and we know that if we keep looking into it, it's going to get bad. So I don't know what they're planning on doing. It feels like we're rounding out and petering out to the end of the season. Arrow, spoilers, but the short version is that Thea is in mortal danger. Oliver accepts the demon hood to save her. There is a lot of conflict around that. And then him and the clan and his friends, and the biggest thing, the most exciting thing, as much as I actually like Thea at this point. Like I didn't like her at all like the first season, I don't think. But at this point, Like, I don't like them messing with me about Thea, because we just had the thing with Roy and then Thea, and it's like, oh, come on. Now we don't know how permanent, like, she's fucked up. But it is cool that Ra's al Ghul has the Lazarus pit. I didn't see that coming. And then again, spoilers. Like, my favorite part was that Felicity got her some. Like, go Felicity. Fuck Oliver getting some of her. Go Felicity getting what you want. She's probably my favorite character between both the shows, and for whatever reason, the hot lady scientist characters are the ones that they're intriguing to me. So whatever. But we've definitely got a couple waves coming at us, with Oliver disappearing into the League. Supernatural, the Werther Project was really interesting. That, like, they brought the crazy mental letters back. There was a device that made you kill yourself as a failsafe to protect a codex that would read the Book of the Blood or whatever, that happens to hold the one thing that can, like, deactivate the curse on Dean for the mark. And it looks like Sam actually got smart about everything, even though he's dealing with Rowena. So I won't spoil that part, but there is a nice twist or two in this episode. Middle, you get to watch the two old guys pal around. I think it's Frankie's dad and his brother. That's the majority of the episode. Yeah. Modern Family, you get to see Jay bowl and pretend to be gay and then admit it and ruin everything. Ha! I ruined it for you, whatever. While Phil and his wife deal with the neighbors and there's some pornographic statue across the street from, like, one of the places Phil's trying to sell, and he can't sell it because nobody likes the statue, and so the resolution is to destroy the statue. But that's illegal. So did they do it? Did they not? Oh, you're just gonna have to watch to find out. And then there was the thing. I don't know why we're in this thing where, like, people are trying to prove they're young. It's like, no, just be old. You're fine. But, like, they were trying to keep up with Haley for whatever reason, and then it was Mitchell and Sofia Vergara's character. I don't see the point. Okay, so the very last thing I want to talk about, because I gotta get out of here. HBO Now, I realize this is $15 a month. $15 enough for Game of Thrones alone is not worth it to me. I've got to investigate HBO and see if there's anything else that I can watch on there that's going to make it worth it. Otherwise, I'm going to have to cancel it. I'm probably going to end up watching at my buddy's house anyways. And, like, I'll toss them $5. But $5 a month just for Game of Thrones, I would love that a la carte option, because I want to pay for it. I want to do it legally. I just don't want to pay $15 a month for one show. It's more than, like, Netflix streaming. It's 1.5 times that. It's ridiculous. Is really what it is. I think I'd rather pirate it. I'll be honest. To compound my problems here, because I watched the first 2 seasons during my trial. I did watch the first one on my own on my iPad, which was kind of annoying. And then I watched the other one at my buddy's house. Netflix never sent me the last disc out of season 4, so I'm missing two kind of important episodes. And I can't say what they are because I don't want to spoil it, because I want everyone to watch it and have a proper experience, with the knowledge that everybody dies. That's kind of a standard thing at this point. So I need to go back and watch those. So I'm going to end up watching season 5, episode 3 before I watch the last 2 episodes of season 4 at this point. It's just because I need to watch those 2 episodes and then go back and rewatch the first couple episodes of season 5. So that's that. And that's actually everything I've been watching. Thank you for watching this or not watching this or skipping to the end to see if this is actually a real video or whatever you do with your time. Until next time, I'm Kamurai, and you'll see me then.